Silence.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special episode of I got a text, 2 days ago from my friend Victor. And Victor goes, it looks like FF12 and FF15 had a baby named Joshua. And I was just at work and I got this text and I responded with, what?
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say? And then he goes, Final Fantasy XVI trailer. And I was like, what? And then it took about like 30 seconds where I was like, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I get home. And then I was like, no, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for Ultima, special episode of Ultima. So I immediately called Caleb Schweiss.
Yeah, and it's funny because right as he called me, I was actually in my car watching the trailer, and then I was thinking like, oh man, I should probably wait to watch this until Joe and I do an episode, and then right in the middle of that, Joe interrupts me watching it with him calling me, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's perfect.
I told him, stop!
I guess it's perfect. So yeah, we're here to talk about the trailer. We're going to watch the trailer first, obviously, and then we're going to discuss Final Fantasy XVI's trailer. Have some predictions on what it's going to be about, some predictions on when it's going to come out, which, hopefully not 10 years from now, but hey, who knows?
How close were we on the 15th? Someone's going to have to listen to like our third episode and find out.
Well, we were not sure if the game was going to come out before the podcast ended, but I feel like some of that was before we decided to add all these other games.
Yeah.
So if we wouldn't have added all those other games, it would have come out after the podcast had ended. But since we did,
I don't know. I thought we had like a bet on like what the date was.
We might have.
Like when it was going to come out.
We might have.
And I can't remember what our bet was, but I'm sure someone can go back and listen to it. But I guess we'll do it again and then forget.
Yeah, it's
later.
Just every episode before 15.
There was specifically a 15 trailer episode
where we discussed like potential release dates and what we thought was going to happen with it.
We guessed on the release dates.
Yeah, I believe it. I wonder. That is a good point. I wonder how close we were.
I have no idea.
I don't know that we would have been able to accurately guess it though, just because of how long it took.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Square's been having a hard time the last few games.
Have they though?
12, I guess, and then 15. So 13 wasn't too bad. 14 wasn't bad.
Yes, 14 was a fiasco.
Well, yeah, 14 they had to redo. But it didn't come out like super, super far after 13.
No, and I think that was part of the problem, is that it came out like 10 months after or something.
Yeah, that's probably part of the problem.
So, I mean, we've had a bit of a break since 15 came out in 2016, right?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how long ago that was?
That might have been 27. Shit.
I think it's 16.
Yeah, end of 16.
That's crazy. It's been 4 years since we played a new Final Fantasy game except for not Type 0.
Hold on. I'm fucking up. I bet it's 2017.
I mean, we had World of Final Fantasy and Dissidia as the newest two, I guess, technically, but that's insane that it's been that long.
Yeah, and we also had a Final Fantasy VII remake in between, which was their...
That's true. That's their flagship.
Oh, it was late 2016.
Doesn't that seem like not that long ago? Yet it's been so long. It's weird. Because it seems like...
I'm just going to kill myself? Is that what you're saying, Schweiss?
Yeah, it seems like
Can't you see that the time is passing by so fucking quickly?
Yet the games aren't... Yeah. Isn't that weird? Isn't that so strange?
Final Fantasy VII Remake was the quote-unquote like replacement for a main series game for a little while, according to the company. I can't remember which creator said that. But basically that they weren't going to focus on a main series game, that Final Fantasy VII Remake was the next AAA Final Fantasy title.
Yeah, and they gave it the AAA treatment.
They did.
I mean,
and we were both pretty satisfied with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a reasoning for the gap, I guess, in terms of like, because after 15 was out, it shouldn't have been more than a year before like the announcement for 16.
You would think, yeah, based on production times and stuff like that. And, I mean, they announced 15 years and years and years before it came out. So, like, if they're announcing 16 now, does that mean, 2030? Or does that mean 2022? Like,
I don't know. It was 2 years, I think, before 15 came out. Our show started in 2014, and that launch trailer happened right at the beginning of the show, so middle of 2014.
okay, so the real trailer, not the, hey, we're working on this game trailer.
It was something like 2 years, 3 months from the time the announcement trailer that versus 13 had turned into 15 to 15 coming out.
That's not too bad then.
No, I really don't love it when companies put out trailers more than a year out. I don't like it for movies. I don't like it for games. I don't like it for anything. It's like you got to get that hype train right at the right time, So
Yeah, I think one of the best releases that I've seen is probably the Resident Evil 7 release, because it was E3. I don't even remember which fucking year, like 2015 or 2016, and it was just like a trailer, and it was like, wow, this survival horror game looks really cool. I wonder what this is, because Resident Evil had a bad chunk of time for a minute there, and I was like, wow, what is this game? Is this like some kind of Silent Hill game? Like, are they making a comeback? And then it's Resident Evil 7, and I'm like, holy fuck, that looks awesome. And then it's like January. I'm like, holy shit, that's only 10 months away. What the fuck?
And then you're really excited.
Yeah. And
you get all that excitement from watching the trailer, and it goes so that you buy the game.
No, I didn't buy it until 2019. But
shut up. There's no 2 years of him hawing and people going, is there problems? Are there problems at Square Enix right now?
Yeah. I mean, God of War did the same thing that Square does. They released their trailer like a year and a half or more before it came out.
Yeah.
I think they just released them too early.
I think 1 year out is good for a trailer. I also think 3 years in between each AAA Final Fantasy is about the max it needs to be.
Yeah.
But, I guess we'll find out the release date. I don't think there's a release date for this one. They would have been talking about it in the chat. So
yeah, I don't believe there is.
Yeah. So all I have seen from this trailer, I have seen the logo because of Square Enix's email that they sent out where they announced the trailer, and then I have seen what I believe is the main character's picture. And that's it.
Yeah, and you know that it is a child between 15 and 12 named Joshua. that's about it.
Told. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to start the trailer up here and give you our thoughts on said trailer.
Yeah, Schweiss has to do some microphone switching. Here we go.
All right.
Peggy 60. No.
The following content is captured on PC, emulating the PS5 experience.
The target, Shiva's dominant, and only the dominant. How do we even know the girl will be among us? Our kind do not question orders, we follow them. Sergeant, let's summon their icon. Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain. Foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily. This will be a bitter fight.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
The Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight. Imperial vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Jesus.
It's the Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
Stop this!
Second light on fire. But that's impossible. The legacy of the crystals
Okay.
has shaped our history. For long enough. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
PlayStation exclusive? Also available on PC.
Yeah.
What is that? Exclusive and on PC, of course.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
There it is.
What do you think?
That looks like a expansion for 14. That didn't seem like an announcement for a new Final Fantasy.
I was thinking in the same universe as 15, honestly. Looking at a lot of the stuff.
Visually, yeah, kind of. It
You
goes
get-
along with that.
You got the visual aspect. You've got the
You got the phone alarm going on.
phone alarm. That's 15. No, there's the visual element. There's the crystals being like part of the kingdom. Obviously the summons are completely different, so I guess it's probably not the same universe. But
Okay, so what it looks like to me is that there's two characters against each other. One of them's turning into Phoenix, and the other one's turning into Ifrit
yeah,
or Bahamut, or I think it was Ifrit.
I think it was different. Yeah, it was.
Okay, and one of them's Joshua.
One of them is Joshua.
All right, that was kind of an odd trailer. That wasn't what I expected from
Yeah.
Square. Yeah.
It almost seems kind of a little bit Game of Thrones-y too. At the same time, with like the conflict.
Well, it's back to medieval stuff. So when someone says it looks like 12, I mean, it is 12, but it's also 9.
Yeah,
It's not a cartoony, obviously. And then like 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And
I think the Dredge-looking characters really brings it to the 12, and then of course,
Sure.
like you said, the kind of high fantasy setting.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it looks good. I just there's not really
It
much
was
that we
good.
have.
Yeah. The person who cut the 15 and the 13 trailers needs to get on this thing
And make a good trailer.
and good trailer. I'm excited for sure for another Final Fantasy. That was an odd trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one has me a little bit flummoxed.
yeah. Because I mean, we have.
Because it wasn't that story based. Like, they were just saying things. Like, they were just saying lines about the world.
Yeah,
And no one was specifically saying, like, what the crux of the main story was. And we didn't really get to feel any character need or anything like that.
yeah. It's like scenes from.
It was like, yeah, little partial things where you can't get any story out of. So little, like, lines here and there. and then some imagery having to do with that, and
Man.
then some gameplay.
I think
which looks like 15.
Oh yeah, I think it's interesting that we're playing a bodyguard in this one again. I mean, we haven't done that since like I guess 7, kind of.
A bodyguard
Of
of
a
a
mercenary.
kid who turns into Phoenix or Ifrit or whoever.
Yes, Phoenix, a summon. So I guess we're going to be playing as someone protecting people, and it's weird because like the first guy we see, kind of looks to me like one of the fucking Kingsglaive. Honestly, like he looks like a model from the Kingsglaive.
He looks like Pain Pill Popper.
Yeah, I expected that goofy voice to come out of him.
We got a different goofy voice.
Yeah, we got to protect the king. Excuse me while I go to the bathroom and cut off my arm circulation with my belt and shoot up. It felt like that with the visuals. I think it looks a lot like 15 combat wise. It looks really cool though. I liked the little bit we saw of the combat, but like the reason why I'm feeling like it's almost the same universe, or at least it's tangentially connected, is the whole like warp strike thing that we were seeing. That's just their new anime.
Is that what you saw? Was a warp strike? We might have to watch this trailer twice.
It looked like
and
it
talk
to me.
over it. I don't think that was a very good trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not excited for the game, because I'm always excited for me.
Honestly,
I just don't think the trailer is very good.
This is so dumb, but like the God of War trailer, I was more pumped for than this. And we didn't see a goddamn thing from the God of War trailer. All it
No,
was
but
is
that's
like,
what it is. It was mystery.
yeah.
And it pulls you in. This is something important, like when it comes to crafting a visual story.
Yeah.
You have to pull the audience in somehow. You have to get them curious. And this just kind of like threw a bunch of stuff at us. It doesn't mean the game's not going to be good. It doesn't mean that the people writing the game aren't writing a good story or anything like that. Just the trailer was kind of lame.
Yeah.
So, although there are some really cool images, I want to see like what that whole like Phoenix versus Ifrit thing is.
Yeah, that's a
And then there were like the mysterious man in the flames situation. Was that the kid turning into the Phoenix? I don't know. I'd have to see it again, see if it was more clear than what I was looking at.
So to me, after the first watch, it looks like, it's a similar situation to 15, where it's like a kind of a fight for the crystals, a fight for the ultimate resource, right? And between two kingdoms, one of them has the ability to summon Ifrit, the other one has the ability to summon Phoenix. And it's weird because it's almost like certain people have the ability to summon Phoenix or summon their country's like beast.
Sure.
So it's almost like a hero's tale in each country, possibly, is what it is. Like this is like the chosen one kind of a thing. But at the same time, it seems like the Joshua kid is obviously royalty or someone important, right? Because we play the whole game as his bodyguard. So there's something about certain people, maybe family lines, familial lines, that allow them to summon these beasts, and that's kind of like the crux of their power. It almost would seem like that's their ability to defend the crystals. It's probably affiliated with the crystals somehow, but I doubt it's completely that way. So you're right about the 14 thing, though, because it almost feels like the primals, right?
Yeah.
It almost feels like they're like religious icons, are what they use to fight other countries and things like that. That's kind of what we're getting the vibe of, at least.
I'm trying to pull up the wiki for this fucking game, and there isn't one. Not straight on Google. I would have to do some more searching here.
Some deeper dives.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Final Fantasy -16.fandom.com, but I don't know. This doesn't look like the trailer I just saw.
Yeah.
It seems like someone bullshitting. You want to pull up Final Fantasy Wiki real quick? I want to see like who's working on this and shit.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Yeah, because your computer's going to be a lot faster than my phone on my 4G. And see if we can get 16. If there's a page for 16, that'd be great. Yeah, it's interesting how much gameplay they showed in that thing too. Because I know 13's first trailer had a little bit of gameplay in it, but not a whole bunch.
Yeah, 13's first one was like a huge lie. Is what I remember, because they're like in-game gameplay, and it's like, no. The gameplay's pretty good in 13, but it's not.
It didn't look like it did in the trailer.
No, yeah. So there was a lot of misdirection, and 13's still a fine game, but
There was some misdirection with 15 too, if you remember all that Leviathan stuff. So maybe they're just avoiding that shit.
yeah, they're avoiding people being disappointed and make mega changes.
Yeah,
They could be. Yeah, the FF Wiki doesn't have anything.
doesn't
for
have a 16 page.
It's 9 through 15.
Damn it! All right, well,
People are in the chat.
oh shit! What are people saying?
Oh, people are saying hurry up and get back to 14. That's Roxo. He says, I don't expect 16 in less than 3 to 5 years. Logo is so good, says Brulo. It's funny because Joe was like, logo kind of looks like shit.
I'm underwhelmed by the logo. I think it looks a little clunky and like leans to one side. I don't think it's Amano's best work.
Oh, were you asking who the director was?
Yeah.
Oh, I already know who the director is.
Who's the director?
It's Yoshi P. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Oh shit. Gameplay. The gameplay is going to be good.
It's Yoshi P. Yeah.
The gameplay will be good if Yoshi P is doing it.
I'm pretty sure I remember somebody saying it was Yoshi.
Not
P.
sure if the story's going to be good. But gameplay's going to. It doesn't mean he's the writer, of course, but
Yeah, the Joshua kid looked like a summoner. I think you're right. The battle reminded me a lot of Witcher 3 and FF7 Remake. Kinda. I think it looks more like 15 than those. They have the Devil May Cry 5 combat director. That's interesting.
Devil May Cry. Did you play that one?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's pretty fun. I think I still like the DMC game better.
They pulled him out of Capcom to this game?
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's the director is Hiroshi Takai, but I think they have the other guy in oh fuck, I can't remember.
God, is there like a web page that has all the information on the game that we know of?
Oh, Yoshi P is the producer. That's what it is.
Okay, Yoshi P is the producer.
So he's running the show.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, and then the director, according to these guys, is Takai, FF14, and Last Remnant battle director. If I watch it again, turn on subtitles. Looks like people turned into the summon. Yeah, that's what I'm getting too. He's producer, yeah. That's fine. That's weird. He's got done a pretty good job for himself if he's going to be producing the next main line. Obviously, he's in charge of 14, which has been a mega success for those guys.
Yeah, the new version of it.
Yeah.
So there's just speculation here. I want to see who's doing the music, and I want to see what was the yokai who's directing it again. Sorry.
According to our chat, it is Takai. Hiroshi Takai is what they were saying. Director Hiroshi Takai.
I'm looking him up.
Battle director Ryota Suzuki of DMC5.
Okay. I'm happy with the battle director choice. That sounds like a good guy. Let's see.
Yeah, that's going to be fun because honestly, those are kind of one of my favorite types of games, or just action games. I think they're really fun.
Yeah.
Like the older God of Wars, the Bayonetta game, Devil May Cry. They're just really fun to play.
So it's going to be an action game for sure.
Oh, it's definitely an action game.
So it's taking it like it's just going up with the 15 direction.
Yeah, we're going more swinging wider to 15.
Which is interesting because we thought it was going to be like a more traditional Final Fantasy the next time around.
Yeah, I think what they meant by that is thematically. Or at least visually, because they don't ever really mean what they say. Because like when we talk about traditional Final Fantasy, we're not talking.
Yeah, I'm thinking like first 6 games.
Yeah, we're not talking knights in armor necessarily. We're talking like the feel of it, the themes of it, and they've done the visuals, which is fine. But I don't know if we're ever going to go back. I think Final Fantasy is always forward. Like a forward-moving machine, right? We've talked about this at length.
Oh, so he was behind The Last Remnant.
Yeah. A game I never played, but I always wanted to play.
Yeah, me too.
I was like,
it's in that category of like, wow, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, to me, I was like, that looks kind of like Final Fantasy 12. I kind of want to play that, and I just never played. I think that was a 360 exclusive, though. But
all right, I could live with Infinite Undiscovery. Those 2 games came out around the same time. I think one of them was the 360 Damn it, maybe you're right.
What is with these names, by the way? God. Did you say infinite undiscovery?
Yes.
So does that just mean nothing? Like we're infinitely not finding things? Like
I just remember I was a newer Final Fantasy fan trying to soak up any new information on 13, and that was just one of the RPGs that Square put out.
Like that seems like
in that period.
It's like, okay, we go to like a research firm, and it's like, what have you guys done? Infinite undiscovery. What? Are you infinitely forgetting things? Yeah. Like, are we undiscovering? Like, we're losing tech, or are you just not doing anything at all?
All right, so they have promoted the guy who did The Last Remnant 10 years ago.
Yeah.
To be the director of Final Fantasy XVI. So I don't know. I'd have to play the Last Remnant to see, like, you know, how I feel about all that. Yeah, obviously the people behind it are pretty cool. I want to see who do we know if the person who's doing the music? That's what I want to fucking know.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything on the music yet.
Okay, so Hiroshi Takai also worked on some Final Fantasy XIV as well.
Yes, yeah, he was in there.
Okay, that concerns the shit out of me. But I don't know. I would also have to see who the writer is. Like, I guess we'll get this information as it comes along. But
yeah.
Who the writer is, that's also important.
Yeah,
that might be the most important thing. Obviously, I think we're gonna get good gameplay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
If they poach the Devil May Cry 5 guy to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. But the trailer isn't pulling me in with the story, but it's a fucking trailer. And I would like to underline that for everybody. Trailers do not represent the final product. I think we learned that with 15.
Yeah.
I love 15, and I love the Leviathan fight in 15, but we were told a different Leviathan fight and a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
That they obviously cut out of 15's final product. And so having so much hype for a trailer might not be that good, but I'm sure that they'll give us more inklings as to what the actual thing is. I just read kind of that it's early in development, in which case I'm guessing 2 to 3 years out, right?
Yeah, I would say 2022. No.
Would you do late 2022?
Honestly, dude, I think it's going to be March 2023. I want it to be 2022.
Fine. I'm going to go September 2022.
I hope you're right. I want a new
and
game.
Then they're gonna delay it to November.
Yeah. And so we'll split the difference almost. Stupidly both right.
Because I mean, we've classically had spring releases for Final Fantasies.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And then and now, based on 15's release, and it was pretty successful, I'm going to go fall 2022.
Yeah, fall seems to make more sense just because it's the holiday season.
Yeah, it's right before Christmas.
Yeah, but you're right. They had a long streak of like March.
So,
like I think FF12 and 13, they were all like kind of spring. Which, I mean, I bought it, so I don't know. I don't know that it matters.
A lot of it has to do with their not wanting their stock prices to go down, so they want something released every quarter.
Yeah, that's why they delayed Kingdom Hearts 3 like they did.
So,
because they wanted it to be its own big deal.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
It does.
It just sucks when they already have the game like shipped and they're like, just kidding, don't sell it yet. You got to hold it for 2 months. And everyone's like, fuck, really? Can't make money on these things? We just bought them. What the fuck? So but yeah, I don't know.
So it's some kid named Joshua. What's on that page there? Oh, that's a Square Enix press announcement.
Yeah, that's the press release for it. What do we got though? I mean,
what is it saying on there? I'm gonna read that press announcement, though.
All right.
Okay, let's read. Let's comb through this press announcement since this is the only information we fucking have.
Yeah, this is on Square Enix's press.na.squareenix.com. Square Enix announces Final Fantasy XVI for PlayStation 5. September 16th, so 3 days ago now.
Okay.
Los Angeles, California. During today's PlayStation 5 showcase event, Square Enix released that acclaimed creators Naoki Yoshida, FF14, Dragon Quest X, and Hiroshi Takai, Final Fantasy XIV, The Last Remnant, are collaborating on an all-new standalone mainline Final Fantasy game titled Final Fantasy XVI for PlayStation 5. The news was released via the 16 Awakening trailer. It can be viewed here.
Okay. Comment from producer Naoki Yoshida. Final Fantasy XVI producer, that's right, just producer, Naoki Yoshida here. How did you enjoy the trailer? The exclusive footage, comprised of both battles and cutscenes running in real time, represents but a fraction of what our team has accomplished since the start of development on this, an all-new Final Fantasy game. In that span, the team size has grown from a handful of core members to a full-fledged unit that continues to polish and build upon what they have created so far, all to provide players an experience unmatched in terms of story and gameplay. Our next big information reveal is scheduled for 2021. Fuck! So in the meantime, I expect everyone to have fun speculating. Oh, God damn it.
Joy. Yeah, I love speculating.
Love speculation in the Final Fantasy fan community. Love it.
It's so clean. Everyone's so friendly.
I know, yeah. It's the best community ever.
Yeah.
As we have a lot in store. Not only for Final Fantasy 16, but for Final Fantasy 14 too. Plug, my own shit.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I'll be working hard on both, and then I'll quit right after Final Fantasy 16, just like a certain someone else.
Yeah. So a comment from director Hiroshi Takai. When Final Fantasy I was released, I was just another player, a young student with big dreams. By the time Final Fantasy V was in the works, I had earned myself a seat at the developer's table, albeit at the very end. From there, I moved online, leaving my mark on both Final Fantasy XI and XIV, and now 16. From the establishment of an all-new development environment to learning the ins and outs of the PS5, the team and I have taken on countless challenges during our journey to bring you the 16th chapter in the storied Final Fantasy franchise. And though we're pouring our hearts and souls into this project each and every day, it may still be some time before we can get it into your hands. God damn it. However, I promise it'll be worth the wait. And then a bunch of screenshots.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of links.
Okay.
Well, they said it'll be a while, so what is a while?
It's going to be a while. These are the two people we know that are working on it, and it's going to be a while.
All right, so I have this theory, and there's a guy at work that's extremely, extremely slow, and my theory is that he has like some kind of like sea tortoise DNA in him, so he's really slow, but his metabolism is also really slow, so he's going to live to be like 200 years old.
Oh, he's a good swimmer.
He's probably a great swimmer, and we know these guys don't age at all, like, until they do. It's like juicy fruit. It's like really good until it like...
What are you saying, Schweiss?
Asians are like juicy fruit.
God.
They're really good, and then they suddenly start just immediately turning into mulch.
They don't become as ugly as us white people.
As fast.
But
when they do, they start to disintegrate before your very eyes. So I'm thinking if they're saying it's going to be a little while... If they're
the
saying,
reason I'm laughing is because you're actually saying that.
Yeah,
right
yeah. I think when they say it's going to be a while, I think it means something other than what we think.
So
of.
they live 20 years longer, and thus,
yes, and thus
when they say it's going to be a while, it's going to be a fucking long while. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
it's going to be one of like the last PS5 games.
I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling after they say that.
I hope you're wrong too.
Yeah. I like the juicy fruit metaphor though, because it's so good, and then like at the end, it starts to like decompose in your mouth, like it starts to like break up into tiny pieces and taste like shit.
I can't believe that you chew gum for that long. That's happened to me once in my lifetime,
dude. It's
where
only
like the gum has been like, I'm done.
It's I got your biodegradable right here.
I think I was chewing that gum for like 8 hours before that shit happened.
Oh, dude, juicy fruit. You got to get some juicy fruit. It happens
I'm
like...
not going to get juicy fruit?
It
Do they
happens...
even sell juicy fruit anymore?
I don't know, actually.
Is that...
It happens fast, man. It's like not even an hour, and I'm like, it instantly loses all of its fruity flavor. It tastes like shit, and then it just dissipates. It just
I got TMJ. Gum is not good for me. It makes things worse.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
I got chews too much. Got chew too
much gum.
I chewed too much gum.
Maybe
in my early years.
Speaking of your jaw, there have been a few deep yawns that I've had lately that they've caused some weird problems.
Part of me is wondering if we've just talked too much.
Yeah, we talk way too much.
Like we're having like a few extra hours of talking per week, and it just compounds over a few years. Now you have TMJ.
Yeah, we're both it's gonna be like The Ring. They're gonna find us in our rooms dead with like our jaws like wide open and our eyes like just staring in fear.
Listen to the Getting Fat episode called "The Jaw That Failed." For more information on TMJ.
For more information on TMJ. For more information on the Juicy Fruit the Juicy Fruit Asians. Just listen to this.
Someone's asking what will come first, FF16 or 7 Part 2.
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
God, it better be 7 Part 2. That'd be some bullshit if they took just as long to make 7 Part 1 as 7 Part 2.
Would we? I mean, yeah, that's true.
What if if they pull a Kingdom Hearts 3 and a Final Fantasy 15, they release them in like the same year?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. That'd be a big year again for Final Fantasy.
Yeah. We haven't had that in a while. Yeah, they'd make a lot of money off of that.
But honestly, for them and like the sanctity of the brand, which of course they don't give a fuck, it would be better to kind of have one year and the other one the next year, so that there's always like a rollout of like a big Final Fantasy around the corner. That'd be good. The question is, what will sell more, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 or Final Fantasy 16? If their trailers are up to this quality every time, it's going to be 7 Part 2.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if overall 7 Part 2 ended up selling more than 16. Just because it's a sequel. The sequels usually don't do as well as the original. And then also... this is a mainline, right? But I mean, they've also marketed 7 Remake as a mainline too, and it is a mainline in every respect. Honestly, playing the game,
it's triple
this is
A.
This is a AAA entry.
Yeah, but it's not a mainline.
Which one? I don't know. I imagine 7 Remake Part 2, and this is coming from a place of complete ignorance. I imagine it's probably more done just because they have Part 1. And
they should have already started on it.
And how vastly different can they make a Part 2?
With a full team.
I would argue they can't really change all that much. Like, they can change some elements to the combat, but it would kind of feel disjointed if it was like a totally different game, you know what I mean, than the first part. So I
wish
imagine,
it was DLC, honestly.
Yeah. I did a podcast
where we would get like a new chapter.
I did a podcast with Phoenix Edge.
I listened to
where
it.
They talked about that, and that was one of my predictions. Yeah.
I
think that would make sense. Those other guys had some pretty good arguments against it.
I want all my goddamn materia back. That's the thing. I want all the shit I worked for in the sequel. But of course, if you want to hear all that, it's in the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah,
review.
And I mean, they could do it like they do 14, where you start out at level 50 because we got to level 50, and then. But the dumb thing about 14 is it's all scaled, so now you're fighting like puffballs that are, that would have one-shot you 100 times over.
They're all the same creatures, but like...
massively over-leveled. Yeah, it's like these are the elite versions.
I invited people on Discord to email us their thoughts on the trailer, and 2 people responded. So I'm going to pull up Jake Howlian. Sorry if I ruined your name there. Jake says, "Hi, guy. I don't think there is really anything I disliked about the 16 trailer. The scope and magnitude seem to be truly epic. Basically what Final Fantasy has always been, just with the ability to show it with the due it deserves. Yoshi P being announced as heading up the project along with the new director are exactly what Final Fantasy has needed for years. Given the work Yoshi has done on 14 and his constant communication with fans, I have little doubt that we won't be living off nibbles of rumors for months as this game develops." To me, the highlights of the trailer were the insane icon scene, new term for Eidolian, I guess, the Dragoon fight, and the crazy battle with the Chocobo Warriors. There wasn't really a ton given out in terms of story, but a few things do seem clear. The main character is a sworn shield to a child named Joshua, apparently of noble birth. Joshua is a dominant of the icon Phoenix. Okay, so the kid is Phoenix, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I only watched the trailer once. The main artwork is Phoenix and Ifrit. The main character ages at some point in the game by what appears to be roughly 5 to 10 years. The battle system, I didn't really get that. Maybe. We'll watch it one more time.
Yeah, I'll watch it again before we finish.
The battle system seems to mirror 15 a lot, and the main characters seem to have some sort of icon equipping where he gains the augmented use of certain abilities in battle. There is a dog that looks like Umbra, explicitly shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't know exactly what to make of this trailer, except that it was very interesting. I'm very excited to see this game develop until it finally drops. I really haven't been this excited for an FF game since 10 dropped all those years ago. And if the trailer is any indication, this has potential to rival it. Wow. So he liked the trailer a lot.
Rival 10, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
We got one from Rude Rose here. Hey, boys. Rude Rose here. So based on the trailer, I'm mildly excited for 16. It's nice to see a more fantasy-like setting and all the icons / summons look beautiful. However, it's hard to feel any true excitement since we know this game isn't coming out until 2038. Especially with Final Fantasy VII Remake still going on, I'll be amazed if I'm still young when this sees the light of day. Having it be an action game is also a bit disappointing. I would love to see a return to turn-based style combat, but as Joe said when you had me on your show, I don't think they are ever going back to that. Bummer. I'm a little concerned that all the combat we saw was only 1v1. Please let there be party members. Oh, that'd be interesting. These are 14 guys. They might make like an online element. Do you think about that?
That's true. That could be part of it. Like an online co-op deal.
Yeah.
Comrades.
Ultimate Final Fantasy predicts.
Yeah. Comrades 16.
Yeah.
Talk of the town. You heard about this Comrade 16 rumors? It's the talk of the town.
They're talk of the town thanks to those icons.
Yeah. Jesus.
Also part of the trailer... Parts of the trailer were very dark and murky. I hope we end up getting a game that is full of color and vibrancy, not a dark and gritty turn. Overall, it was fine. It's nice to see an announcement, but I have zero faith they will release it in a timely manner or avoid other 15/FF7 remake scenario. It would be nice to actually get a completed game when you buy it at launch. Not one that needs to be patched to completion 4 years later. Take care, boys. I'm at 202 platinums now. Jesus fucking Christ. Good fucking
damn. Thanks for that update.
Yeah, thanks for telling us what your plans are at.
Yeah, Craig came in the chat and he said he guarantees it's not going to have online and that there is no party.
He guarantees?
Guarantees, yeah. Craig's got
an in.
Yeah, he's the music guy. Craig's the music guy.
That's right. He's been hiding that talent under a bushel for all these years.
Yeah. Doot 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 doot. Doot 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 doot
doot. Oh my god, someone please take his fucking dude and MIDI that shit all over the Final Fantasy X soundtrack like they did with the Haas.
Yeah. That would be pretty good.
Doot 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 doot. Doot 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 doot. Doot 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 doot.
Yeah, use that. All right, so maybe it might be just a one guy thing. I mean, I know that was one of the complaints about 15 was the party was kind of useless, and it feels like they had a great opportunity to make something along the lines of Crystal Chronicles, just not terrible, where you could join in as like the other party members, kind of a thing. And so I think that would be super fun, and maybe they'll have the AI tech with the new console to make that a possibility. I don't know, but so far all we saw was the one guy. So
do you want to watch it again? Let's watch it again with the sound up. It was a little quiet last time.
Yeah, Craig says he's sleeping with the director. There you go. He talks in his sleep. Only after you do that tongue thing. Caleb Craig. Oh man. All right, let's watch this again. I'll crank it up. Oh, sign in.
Sign in to confirm your age.
Age is just
Oh, it pulled it up in a different
it's just a number. Pretty sure I'm signed in here, yeah.
You're not.
Oh, I'm not. You're
No,
right.
you just pulled it up into that same Mozilla.
Oh, that's the problem.
Fuck out of Mozilla Firefox.
Yeah, nobody uses that.
Not anymore. It used to be great.
It did, yeah.
All right, sorry, we got to type it in now. You folks at home listening. Ding 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 ching ding 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 ding.
Why is it just giving me 14? What the fuck is this? I have to go FF and then the number 16?
Yeah, 1-6. Uneducated fiends. All right, turn that shit up.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant.
Shiva's dominant.
And only the dominant.
Pause that.
How do we even know the girl will be among them?
Okay, Shiva's dominant. How do we know the girl will be among them?
Yeah, so that sounds like the one person that can summon Shiva.
Or do they turn into Shiva?
I don't know. The whole dominant thing makes it sound like they
that
have
must be what it is. I think dominant is like the person.
Yeah, so if you kill the dominant, you kill Shiva's ability to be summoned, is what it kind of sounds like.
Unless, are they enslaved in some way? You think the Adolians, the Icons are enslaved in some way?
Kind of like traditionally, like with where they're forced to do the bidding of the people.
And that the person that they're forced to do the bidding of is the dominant.
I think that's probably what it is.
I think that's what that means.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so we're seeing a battle here, so some shit's at war of some kind.
Yeah, they're possibly attacking to do exactly what they said they weren't going to do.
Mankind do not question orders, we follow them.
All right.
Sergeant, they've summoned their icon.
Summon their icon.
That thing's a bloody mountain.
Okay, so a guy gets crushed by a rock at the beginning. I've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. He's going to have a pill addiction.
He's going to have a pill addiction. That's right.
Yeah, and he'll be shamed for it, even though he totally needs it to not go crazy with pain. All
Okay,
right, so
they said summon their
icon. They summoned their icon. So it sounds like these are like weapons. There's almost like it's like a nuclear weapon kind of a thing, like a big weapon that you use against other people.
As it would be. Got a bunch of Godzillas fighting above you.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like the main force of the battle is going to be between the two people that are summoning. At least that could be.
So there's a war going on, and then some people they bring out the big guns.
Yeah, it's weird because that's something they did in Kingsglaive too. If you remember, it was the
weapons were up there.
And then the one guy was kind of controlling it with his actions. Just kind of weird. It was almost like a Pacific Rim bullshit going on.
Is that how that worked? I don't know.
It might have been. It wasn't. It was either him controlling it, or
I thought they had a bunch of monks
or they just contrasted the fact that they were doing the same actions in their individual fights. So it seems like these are bringing out the big guns, right? The icons,
right? And that they can. Someone has entrapped the icon, I think. And then those are the people they got to get. It's like you're playing Stratego, and you need to get rid of the big pieces.
Yeah.
You got to remove the queen from the chess game.
Yeah.
This is we also have a frame here of a dog. Looks a little bit better than the cats in Final Fantasy VII Remake, but only a little. Square Enix can't make a fucking household pet to save their life.
Yeah. I wonder why that is. It's weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
I got something for it, but I'm not going to say it.
Go ahead. Play
Oh, play out. I thought you were saying
don't-
say it. I was
don't
like,
say whatever.
All right, I'll say it. I mean,
Fight.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this.
Should not be out of doors.
Come, Joshua. Your
why does she
father
talk with her
will
hand
Why
in front of her
does
mouth?
she- yeah.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
All right, let's pause that, baby.
All right, so we're playing as the Hound, who's
Okay.
sworn to protect Joffrey.
I'm sworn to protect you. Okay, so Joshua is not supposed to be out. Has magical powers. The magical power is probably that he is a dominant.
Yeah,
I think they might come up with a different name. I don't know.
yeah. Maybe it's
Speculating here.
similar to like 6 and stuff, where the ability to summon is directly connected to magic,
Yeah, or Yuna
kind of thing. Or
from
yeah,
10. Yeah,
It's
she's a
kinda-
summoner.
it's all kind of
And
one.
she needs to be protected, just like in 10.
Yeah,
It's funny that the person that's most powerful needs to be protected in these games, but he's obviously like a little kid. I don't know if he's royalty or because it didn't look like they were in a palace or anything. It just looked like they were in a street.
yeah. Or if he's just important because of his station. Like maybe it's something that's just everyone, every society that has an icon gets the person that's dominant over it at some point in time, kind of a thing. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it's like just randomly, it's just part of the
Or
population.
they have a
Somebody gets
gift for being able to connect with these summons, and therefore the government tracks them down and protects them,
it.
and
Yeah.
then uses them.
It's kind of like the hero.
Could be
it's,
that.
It's kind of like the hero's journey kind of thing, where it could just be a random person. Then maybe it is. Maybe it's not the prince or something that we're
Yeah, I
protecting.
don't
It could
know.
just be some random kid that happens to be the one that has the power.
Could be.
That'd be kind of cool.
Might be.
Kind of interesting. I mean, it's cool in it that it takes.
It'd be odd if it was a prince again, because we just went through 15. That's why that's another reason why I'm like,
yeah.
would they do that twice?
Yeah.
We gotta have the bodyguard with the prince again. I don't think they would. Maybe though.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see what else we got here.
Combat,
Yeah.
action
15.
oriented. Once again, warp strikes.
Did you not pledge your sword to our cause?
There's causes.
What does it matter? It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
The Dolmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms. Fuck. God, you better freaking sprinkle that shit out.
Yeah.
Not, I don't need to be full-fledged. I better not be cutscene 1.
I know. You can always tell when they're evil if they have a cigarette on a long cigarette tube. Also, by the way.
Yeah. I
It's
think
a-
that's probably the best looking cutscene. The game is there's her walking around.
Yeah.
I'm not that impressed with the visuals of this thing. Not the direction of it anyway.
Yeah, it does remind me a lot of 12. And maybe it's just because it's a trailer that's not giving us very much. But like 12 starts out really cool, but like you don't care about any of it because it's like,
No.
well, who are these people fighting?
Nah,
Like,
it's just people fighting. Yeah.
yeah. So it kind of feels like that. But again, it's an early trailer. Kind of a disorganized trailer, honestly, from what we were talking about earlier. Like the peak trailer for me that I've seen so far, like I said, was that God of War trailer where it's just glyphs on the screen.
So
and it's
far
like
this year,
Kratos talking, and it's like 2021, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, that's a better trailer. It doesn't show me a goddamn thing, but it tells me we're coming. And that's all I want.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
now we're just speculating on the game itself. I don't think it's good to judge what the game is going to be based on the trailer.
Yeah.
In good or bad, frankly.
No, I agree.
Although if it's a good trailer, you can hype up the game and you get more excited.
But
for
see, the last time we had a good Final Fantasy trailer, well, I guess the good Final Fantasy trailer for 15, remember the Omnious or whatever the fuck it was, trailer, where it was like super dark and like he was killing Luna Freya and like all that crazy stuff. And then they put that in the game, but it was like a dream. It's like, that's fucking lame. Like, look how dark this game is. And then all of it was a dream sequence within his
I
mind.
think out of all, so 14's original trailer wasn't that exciting. It was just like the blank face characters and they're looking out over the cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
But 13 had some amazing trailers, and then 15 had some amazing trailers. 7 had some good trailers. I wasn't that blown away with 7's trailers, actually.
Yeah. 7 doesn't need it, though. It's pulling off of the nostalgia.
It is. this trailer is kind of a mess. But let's continue to speculate on what's going on in the game.
All right.
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the blight.
So that seems like
Spread
15.
of the Blight? Is that like the miasma in fucking Crystal Chronicles?
I'm thinking more. I'm more
Or the darkness from 15?
Yeah, the darkness in 15. That's why it felt more 15 like to me.
Okay, so they're stopping the blight from spreading from the. But like later it says like the crystals, we got to stop using the crystals or whatever in the title. So like. So I think there's two levels of conflict here. Obviously, there's like warring factions of some kind. And then there's also like the big bad that's going to take over the world, which is the blight, which the crystals are stopping somehow. I don't know.
Maybe it's going to be another Game of Thrones thing where it's like you have the fight for the throne, but then you have the fight against like
against the zombies?
The zombies, yeah. Where it's like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the crystals are like
Well,
causing...
I mean, this is normal Final Fantasy stuff. We talked about it with Rude Rose, I think. Either Rude Rose or Steven. It was recent. Where it was like you have the tertiary bad guy, and then
Yeah.
like then you have the big bad. So, and that's just normal. Like, you got like the president of Galbadia in 8, and then of course it turns into the sorceresses. In fact, it goes a few levels down. 4 is the same way. It has the bad guyception and all that. So this is pretty normal. This is pretty standard Final Fantasy fare. If there's more than one big conflict,
Yeah.
one conflict gives way to the world-ending one.
That's true, yeah. That's something they've been doing for a while.
And this seems like the world-ending one, whatever they're talking about in this scene.
Yeah, maybe it's another plan like nuclear power. The crystals are like, well, not nuclear power, but just like pollution and damage to the country. Maybe. The crystals are like causing the darkness or something.
Maybe.
Who knows? We don't have any evidence for that, but yeah, that'd be kind of interesting.
There's a fight with the judge guy.
Yeah.
So, 1,700 goons. Imperial vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Okay, so there's an imperialist force of some kind. Then there's some fucking blood.
Yeah, lots of blood on the face of the child.
Phoenix.
All right, pause that. Big stressful event makes the kid do something that summons the Phoenix. Right?
Yeah.
Now, what one of the emails said was that Joshua turns into an adult later on in the trailer. I'll see if I can see that or not.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is like the first third of the game, and it's about Joshua and his bodyguard, and then the bodyguard dies, and then we cut to 15 years later or something like that, and then it's the story of Joshua afterwards.
Maybe, yeah.
That's my guess.
So it almost seemed like, just like with 15, I mean, the moments that the summons came were usually moments of like...
Great distress.
Great distress, yeah. So maybe it's similar to that.
Which I've seen in other fantasy stuff as a trope. Harry Potter with the snake. Eye of the World with Rand.
Yeah.
And he just suddenly can use magic, and he didn't know he could. Obviously, this kid knows that he's some sort of summoner because of the scene we saw before, but this is happening out of a big stressful scene. I wonder who died. Yeah. I think it's the bodyguard.
You think so? You think the bodyguard's the one who bled all over the kid's face?
I think it's the bodyguard's blood all over that kid's face, and then he's freaking out with the Phoenix. But I don't know. I have no idea. It could be the guy shouting could be the bodyguard too, and it might be. So
you think the Phoenix resurrects the bodyguard? Since that's Phoenix's power.
Ooh, I don't know.
Resurrection is my power.
We obviously know nothing, so
that's true. We don't know shit.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we can not know about.
Second light on the fire. That's impossible.
Oh, that guy's burning.
That's a different guy. That's not the guard.
Yeah.
legacy of the crystal.
Did he also turn into an Ifrit? I'm confused. Or that's a different guy.
I think it's a different guy.
So I'm screaming at Joshua to wake up as Ifrit.
Yeah.
Then we get two faces, right? So I'm thinking one is the guard and one is
Joshua.
Joshua. I would have to rerun the trailer and find out, I guess, because
Well, this is the guard.
that's the guard.
But real quick though, before we
Okay.
do that, the wake up thing, maybe it puts him in like a trance state, so it's kind of like an FF6 thing. Maybe he takes off all his clothes and he flies away.
Or it's like the warg.
He just gets
Game of
naked.
Thrones. Yeah, or like Terra. Exactly.
Strips and then goes crazy. It's like that charity guy.
Or it's like Hulk. I guess that's the
Yeah.
easier comparison.
It's like that guy. Oh man, do you remember this guy? The Coney or something like that? I can't remember who it was. He was like
yes.
that. I laughed so
It's
fucking.
Coney.
Yeah, he just lost his mind and he's like walking down the street totally naked, like slapping the ground, dude. It's amazing.
I've never watched it. I don't want to.
I just remember seeing his picture of it, and it's like a side angle, and he's like doing the like, come on, and it's like his ass, and then like it looks like he's like power stancing, like he's just jerking it in the street, just fucking standing there.
I watched the South Park episode making fun of it.
It's so
They were
weird.
singing, jerking it, smacking it, smackety smack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that. He just gets crazy and he takes off all his clothes and like walks down the street and just scares people.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the guard.
Yeah, this is the guard. Let's see what else we get.
I'll kill you
I'll kill you
if it's the last thing I do.
if it's the last thing I do. So do you think this is the guard again?
Okay, someone said it was Joshua grown up, and maybe they have information I don't.
What happened to his blonde hair, though? Is it the
Don't
rot?
know.
Is it the disease?
Uh,
Is he emo?
Or is it are there two different summoner people, there's two different guard people, and they can't stand each other, and they're talking to each other here?
That could be it. Yeah, these could be like opposing force guards.
Two opposing factions.
Yeah, because they're talking about killing each other.
Yeah.
So maybe these are the opposite. Maybe we'll get to play as both. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. All we have to work off of is Square Enix's press release.
Yeah,
in
and
this.
that's one of the things that I'm hoping media kind of moves more towards, and I think they have in some respect, where you kind of like you try to like make the other side more human, so that you understand why the conflict is there.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think,
Disney's never going to listen to that. But
yeah, with Disney, yeah,
that's what you get when you watch movies made for adults.
yeah. Like with the Game of Thrones thing, that's what makes it so great. Is like you can see the motivation of the bad guys, right? Like you understand where they're coming from.
And sometimes you're not really sure who the bad guys are.
Exactly. Yeah. Who is what makes them the bad guy?
Yeah.
You know, and that I like that gray area kind of stuff. And maybe
it,
that's
it
what
could
this
be
is doing.
that, or one of these guys, or that guy could be the bad guy.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Or that guy could be Joshua.
It could be Joshua too. I mean,
Who knows?
yeah, but yeah.
It's not clear.
I think right now it makes it more sense for it to be like an opposing bodyguard kind of guy, like someone on the opposite side.
Based on what they're saying underneath the thing.
Yeah, and plus I don't know how you go from being blonde to being a black-haired person, but I don't know
Some
this
people
world.
do. Some kids grow up and they change their hair color.
I mean, my hair used to be light, but I don't have black hair now. It's just brown. So I don't know, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's like this world, it's kind of like with you, where like you were way more red, and now it's just becoming like colorless almost. It's like, it's still red, but like
It's definitely colored.
maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes your hair looks kind of like muted gray. And it's like, I think that's what happens with red hair. I just kind of like,
I want it to go gray. I really do. I've always hated my red hair.
yeah. It used to be more red, though, is what I'm saying. And now it's like kind of more like darker almost.
Yeah.
So maybe in this world you just go from blonde to black. I don't know. Fucking who knows? It could be the rot thing too.
There's also like a tattoo on his face, which I'm not recognizing.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe it could also be something like with what happened with Arden, where the infection gets in you and it like changes your appearance.
Or this is just the first frame of the big baddie, and he's just there, and we have no information on him in the rest of the trailer.
That's true. That's true. Let's finish this trailer again.
But it makes it look like there's two versing things. Like, yeah, it's gotta be. It's the guard versus maybe the other dominant or the other icon dude is an adult, and Joshua's just not. So it's the guard versus this other guy who's Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if this is a 15 universe prior to the line of Lucius, he's going to be so jacked. I actually was thinking that earlier.
They're
I was
not
thinking
going to do that. They always have them separate. Even with 15, they were going to have it in the same universe as 13. But as soon as they made it a numbered Final Fantasy, they took it out.
Yeah, I honestly, though, I could see them doing this as like a prequel to 15. And maybe this is how the summons used to work. And then, like, as the world went on, the summons just, I don't know, they changed.
Well, I think we're only saying that because it kind of looks like 15 in the visual design of it. Except not as pretty.
It said that's a dragoon, not a judge, and
they are the same person? Need to look at them side by side. Hold on. Is that confirmed, or are you just saying that because they look similar? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of looks. Maybe it is the bodyguard later.
It could be later on.
It could be that. It could be.
I don't think it's Joshua grown up.
No, I don't think so.
Unless that blonde guy lying on the ground, like squirming, was Joshua grown up, which is possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's clear. Don't tell me it's clear, guys. That's BS. We just went through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. Unless you're getting your information somewhere.
Yeah, so maybe it's that. I mean, it could be, Joshua died, and then now this is the aftermath. This is him after that fact. There's a lot of stuff it could be.
Yeah, who knows?
And I think it makes more sense based on the trailer setup. And if it's not a poorly set up trailer, it would make more sense for that to be the two sides ready to fight each other. Because then right after that, it shows the swirling two images of the different icons, and then they collide, and then it shows us the logo of them colliding on the logo. So to me, if I were to make that trailer, I would be saying this guy and this guy are going to fight, and they represent this and this. And then at the end of that trailer, those things combine, they hit each other, and then it sparks the conflict, and then it gives us the logo.
People in the chat are arguing that it is the same guy, but it would be odd as a juxtaposition of like them versing each other. I'm gonna take you down underneath the thing, and then having the logo have the two things hitting into each other. Unless it is like the guy in the past is fighting the guy his own self in the future.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think they're the same guy. They might be though.
It could be. I agree. I don't think it is, but you guys can think whatever you want. We don't have very much info on it.
We don't
at
have
all.
any information.
And they do look similar, but they're both anime drawings, so I don't know what to fucking say about that.
People with dark hair. What are you gonna do?
I mean, we're not like getting into genealogy and shit here, and like dominant and recessive genes. Like, we're not fucking talking about that.
And like the second guy is like most of his face covered up. I don't know how you could say that it's the same guy.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that clear unless someone said it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it though.
At like the Sony convention, unless there's like an interview out there that's like escaping us. But
yeah, and it could be a time skip thing, like they were talking. Who knows?
Could be.
Who knows?
All right, man.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, I'm excited. I'm not excited because of the trailer necessarily. I'm excited because there's a new Final Fantasy coming, which is always exciting.
How do you know you play as both of them? Where are you getting your information, Brulo?
Yeah, Brulo, come on, bro. We only saw gameplay as one of those guys.
Side by side, same shape. The face is the same shape. Yeah, you could have put Noctis next to him too if you didn't know who he was. I think you could have said those are the same guy too.
We'll see. You can make whatever you want out of it. I mean, we don't give a shit.
I'm sure there's plenty of fan speculation that's going even deeper than us. But
yeah, but you know,
the footage in the trailer, LOL, gameplay footage, that they're the same guy. Do they say it? You play as both. I'm reading this shit here. You reading that stuff?
Yeah.
It's clear in footage.
I didn't see that.
I don't think it's clear.
I mean,
It
we don't
might
even
be there,
we
but
don't
I
even
don't think
see
it's
the only combat that we know for sure was combat. Didn't even have a HUD or anything. It could have been cutscene for all we know.
It probably wasn't. But
No, I don't think it was. But like the fight with the weird dude and the knight and then the Marlboro, that's all we had for combat wise, and that does look like the same two dudes. So.
it could be the same guy in the past and then in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it's that clear.
Yeah,
I think they look like very. Hold on, let's just look at the very end then. I don't know how you can get that from the gameplay. You only saw one person in the gameplay on each time.
All right, let me pull it up again.
Why do you keep on clicking off? Don't you just pause?
Man, I don't fucking know.
Okay, hold on.
Why does anybody do anything? All right, so here's the dude.
If it's the last thing I do,
Hold on. I want to hear that.
if it's the
I want to hear the voice.
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Oh, did he also switch accents when he got older too?
Yeah, let's hear that again.
I'll kill you.
American.
If it's the last thing I do.
An American doing a British accent.
It does kind of look like the same guy.
But the voice, if the voice represents the person that we're looking at underneath it, no.
Yeah.
I actually think quite the opposite.
Yeah, that's weird because you don't change your.
If it's the last, I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Yeah, I don't know how you could change
I
it.
don't think so. I don't think it's clear, guys.
It does look like the same guy, and he has the same earring in his left ear. I mean, it's not the same earring, but he's got his ear pierced. But
Wait, show me that. Did you click off again?
I did, yeah.
What the Why is it so hard for you? Why do you click the X button every time you get out of there?
Because I'm done,
We're
man.
going back and forth on
Look, I'm
this
done
thing.
with it. It's just... All right, I'm not done with it. I'm not done.
Now I gotta see the earring thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying it isn't...
Unless it's two other characters talking to each other.
That's what it makes sense to me thematically with the trailer for that to be the case.
I don't know what the theme of the trailer is. Okay, so he does have an earring on the right-hand side. His nose is way more narrow, though.
Last thing I do.
Did you see an earring in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is an earring on the right. Could be the same guy. It's really confusing, though, with the two voices
See,
versing each other
Yeah.
with different accents, and then you have two characters looking at each other, juxtaposed, looking straight at camera, and then you have like the red and the blue swirly cues coming up, like they're different, like they're opposites.
Yeah.
But I mean, one has an English accent, and the other one appears not to.
Yeah, and the reason why I think it would be stupid if they are the same person,
You could have made that more clear in the trailer.
that, and then I feel like the very ending of it, like you're talking about, like the little swirling lights, and then they hit each other, and then it sparks the conflict, and that means to me,
It means they're two opposite things.
yeah, that means this is one side, this is the other side, and they're going to combine, and then they're going to spark a conflict, and that is what Final Fantasy XVI is, because they combine. We get like a flash of light, and then we get the logo for the game.
and the logo is the Phoenix versus the
And unless some idiot put this trailer together, I don't
which
know.
it's not a great trailer, so
Yeah.
possibly grain of salt,
Doesn't that?
tub of salt.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a stupid trailer though?
That would be bad editing. Yeah.
if it's the same person. Like, how dumb is that? Unless he switches sides or something. But then, how is it a conflict? What is this fucking Arrival? Is time all one crunched thing now? Like,
and you could have represented that in the trailer too.
yeah. So I mean, it's all open for interpretation. But if it is the same guy, this is a dumb trailer. Like, I really think this
Quote
is a
unquote.
dumb.
I'll agree with that one.
Because the ending is like, well, I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do. 2 different faces, 2 different voices, 2 different swirly cues, like you said, and then boom, they collide, and then that is 16. To me, that is, hey, this is these 2 guys and their forces fighting each other, and that's what this game is about. And if that's not what it is, then whoever put this trailer together is an idiot.
I mean, it is a very confusing. It's a confusing trailer as it is. So
Yeah.
I don't.
I wonder I wonder why they do these kinds of trailers. They could have done anything, and people would have been super excited.
Just done like a character's face and a logo.
Yeah, like, and then they would have given us nothing. I mean, maybe it is fun to have the speculation aspect, but
It is. It's gonna. There's gonna be some people that just like, I know I'm right, and maybe they have information I don't. Once again.
yeah, I don't
But
know.
not just looking at the footage will give you that answer.
Yeah, in fact, I think thematically it's the opposite of that answer. Like we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, where it's 2 opposite sides. But I don't know. We could be wrong.
It's fire and fire. I don't know why one is represented by blue and the weird swirly cute thing, but
Yeah,
it's Ifrit versus Phoenix. I mean,
they're both flame oriented.
Yeah.
Maybe Ifrit has to burn, and then the Phoenix, the rebirth comes from the burning. Oh, I think that's actually what happened. Because if we watch the trailer, we look at the the kid summons Phoenix after people are getting fucked up. Like he's got blood all over his face. He like
and then there's like the crazy flame guy, and then someone says something about the icon being on fire, and then there's Ifrit. I don't know if it's the same scene or they're different scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's not clear there.
Maybe the flame of Ifrit caused Phoenix and the rebirth.
Maybe. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't even know the kid had the power at that time. Maybe that's like the beginning of the game is when all the violence happens. And then
I
they
mean,
realize,
is he like a Pokemon? Does he become a new? He becomes a new icon every time.
maybe, or they didn't know who the icon was, and then Ifrit attacked. They attacked with the Ifrit icon, and then it became Phoenix because of the flame motif. I don't know. Yeah.
This is a really confusing trailer.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah,
And there's not much mystery. It's just confusion.
yeah. I am excited about it though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more.
I'm excited that there's a new Final Fantasy. I'm sure we'll get like one banger trailer somewhere.
Yeah,
Where we can get all excited.
right before the game comes out, and then it'll be a dream sequence in the game, so it'll be super dumb.
That's right. All right. Well, I suppose I'm good. Are you good?
Yeah, man. I think we covered everything we can. Thank you guys for the chat. You guys brought up a lot of good points. And we're excited to get into a new Final Fantasy game. I really like that we have another one coming out. It'll be interesting to see whether they focus on this or 7 Remake Part 2.
I can't wait till 8 years down the road when we get finally.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Now we'll have to have another prediction. What'll happen first? Final Fantasy XVI or Ultimate Final Fantasy ends? I can tell you which one I really hope happens first, but
will you actually say?
not to put a gun to my head or anything, but no, actually, I won't say which one I hope happens first.
What do we got? We got like Air Gaze. We got the Mana games, Air Gaze.
Yeah, fucking Kingdom Hearts, like 600 Kingdom Hearts games.
There's not 600. There's like 7.
And
then the 4 other games.
We're gonna do the
and then a new
Chocobo.
Bravely Default. There's Bravely Default 2 coming.
Gonna do the Chocobo racing stuff.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we got a few more then. Got a few more.
Yeah. All right, guys. You can join us on 14 here soon.
Yeah. I'm finishing up Last of Us Part 2 for Nude Clan, and then I'm gonna hit 14 again.
Yeah. I don't know if our schedules are going to line up this time, but
We'll make it work.
we'll try. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.